How you do relationships and how you show up to the table of partnership is the same way you will show up to trade in any of the markets. So if you are compulsive and you react to every emotion you feel, your personal relationships and your financial portfolio will have negative results. Because like I always say, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Listen, successful relationships with money and people require that you manage your emotions extremely well. And when you don't, you open yourself to loss and pain. So I'm going to share the number one emotion that you must manage well to ensure your success in relationships and the markets. Hey there, I'm Vanetta, and you are watching Faith, Love, and Trading, where I talk about the intersections of financial prosperity and personal growth. So if you are interested in the psychology behind trading, especially as it relates to faith, love, relationships, personal growth, and of course, money, click the subscribe button because you don't want to miss one episode on this channel. Because here we are all about growing our net worth as we grow our self-worth. So, what is the number one emotion that will have you taking L's, taking losses in relationships and in the markets? Fear. Now, whether it's jumping into a trade late because you have a severe case of FOMO, you fear missing out, or whether you wear masks in your relationships because you fear being fully accepted for who you truly are, fear, if not managed well, will cause you to react, and most often, not in a good way. Now, let me just throw this caveat in here because not all reactions to fear are bad. Sometimes fear alerts us to danger, it makes the hair on the back of our neck stand up, and it tells us to run. And that's all a healthy reaction to fear. But fear can also make you react in unhealthy ways. It can cause you to prematurely get in a trade or a relationship, and it can cause you to stay in a trade or a relationship way too long. Either way, fear can cost you a lot. So you need a plan for when fear shows up. Because guess what? Fear will always show up, especially when you have skin in the game. Whether that skin in the game is money you put into the market or whether it's opening your heart in relationships, fear will be waiting for an opportunity to pounce. And you must be ready. You must have a plan. Now, I'm a faith girl, and my go-to for dealing with fear and managing emotions is Habakkuk 2:2, where it says, write the vision and make it plain. And I do just that. I've written out and I made a plan for how I deal with fear when it shows up in my relationships or potential relationships, and when it shows up in my trading. Because again, fear is going to show up. Fear shows up for all of us. And I know God didn't give us the spirit of fear, but we all experience it anyway. Fear is inevitable, and it shows up whenever you have skin in the game or when something is important and meaningful to you. And if you don't have a plan to deal with fear, you are planning to succumb to it. See, having a plan neutralizes your emotions and prevents you from making irrational decisions. See, when it comes to your money and love, you want to make well thought out decisions, and having a plan really does help. Now, in trading, having a plan is simple. For every trade, you first have to establish that the trade is worth you taking the risk before you get in. And if you find that it's worth it, you then set where you will enter, when you will exit if it goes against you, and where you will take profit. It's just that simple. In relationships, it's no different. You first establish if the relationship is worth it. Meaning, is the partner worthy of you taking a risk of being intimate? But not just sexually intimate, but can you trust this person enough to be emotionally intimate and vulnerable? If you can and you enter the relationship, you then establish what the deal breakers are that will cause you to get out of the relationship if things go wrong. And then you decide when and whether to take the relationship to the next level if things go well. Listen, in trading and in love, you need a plan. You may think you can handle love and money issues without a plan. But honey, when emotions are riding high, like they often are when it comes to love and money, having a clear plan is what helps you avoid making impulsive decisions based purely on emotions. A plan is simply your protection. But let me just add, a plan is worthless if you don't stick to it. Listen, so many relationships and so many trades fail, not because there wasn't a plan in place going in, but because the plan was ignored. So make a plan and then stick to your plan. For example, if you've decided to end a toxic relationship or a relationship that no longer meets your needs, stick to it, even when your heart and your emotions are telling you otherwise. Listen, I know from experience that the heart just wants what it wants, which is why you must allow your mind to make certain decisions. And sticking to your plan is allowing your mind to make decisions when your emotions have left you too vulnerable. And do the same in your trading. Sticking to your trading plan is protection. It keeps you from exposing yourself to losses that you probably can't afford. But the plan can't keep you safe and protect you if you don't stick to it. For example, if you hit your profit target in a trade, you may want to stay in the trade because you start thinking, I can get more profit. The fear of missing out creeps in, makes you make an emotional decision to stay in, and then you end up losing your profit that you had. Been there, done that. So hear me. Sticking to your plan keeps your emotions from making decisions that you should be making with your mind. Having a plan and sticking to it is about discipline. And you can't afford to be undisciplined when it comes to love and money. The key to keeping your emotions in check is being aware and being in touch with your feelings, but not allowing your feelings to take the wheel. Listen, we are human. I get it. And skin in the game means emotions can easily go from 0 to 100 in no time. But there are steps you can take to keep your emotions in check. First, recognize when you are being emotionally triggered, pinpoint what is causing it, and then take a moment to revisit your plan. Next, and most importantly, keep the promises you made yourself in your plan. Your plan is not just a bunch of words. It is a love letter to yourself that is full of boundaries that protect you and your best interest. Now, I know all of this is easier said than done because you are going to experience emotional swings when it comes to love and trading. But you can successfully manage your emotions. And one of the best ways to manage your emotions, mitigate losses and pain, and protect your heart and your money is to remember to play the long game. This means you have to avoid at all costs allowing your emotions to set you up. Now, an example of an emotional setup happens when you make excuses for people. Giving second chances in relationships when someone has hit one of your deal breakers. That is an emotional setup. In trading, an emotional setup is staying longer in a trade after it has crossed your exit point. These are emotional setups that will backfire and betray you every single time. But they can't backfire and betray you unless and until you first betray yourself by not sticking to your plan. So, in love and trading, never focus on short-term gratification. Always focus on your overall goal, which is to have healthy relationships and a healthy bank account. Listen, your money and your emotions are inextricably tied. And the more you are able to manage your emotions, the more you will see positive results in your love life and your financial life. Listen, I talk a lot about money mindset and personal growth in my video, Unlocking the 5 Money Mindset Shifts that Increase Wealth and Abundance. So go check it out and give your girl a thumbs up and leave a comment while you're over there. Also, let me know if this video resonated with you in any way by leaving a comment here. I would love to hear how well you do trading love. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Don't forget